Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today in Nothing Makes Sense Anymore news is CNN host Jake Tapper is alt-right? ? Well, according to national co-chair of the Women's March, Linda Sarsour, yes he is. She tweeted out, @Jake Tapper joins the ranks of the alt-right to target me online. Welcome to the party. Now, if you're wondering where the hell this claim is coming from, good, your head's in the right place. And upon looking into the situation, it looks like it stems from July 16th. That was the day that the official Women's March Twitter page tweeted out, "Happy birthday to the revolutionary Assata Shakur. Today's hashtag sign of resistance in Assata's honor is by Melonious Funk." And there were many people that were shocked by this post because Assata Shakur is a convicted cop killer. And we'll jump a little more into Assata's story in a second, but one of the people that were taken aback was Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper tweeting, "Shakur is a cop killer fugitive in Cuba. This, ugly sentiments from Sarsour and Dyke March Chicago. Any progressives out there condemning this?" Linda then responds with a tweet we previously mentioned, and then adding, "Jake Tapper, please share my quote, ugly sentiments. Unapologetically Muslim, unapologetically Palestinian, pro-immigrant, pro-justice? Shame." To which Jake Tapper responded, "Your comment on Ayaan Hirsi Ali for one." Now, if you don't know what that's about, that's from an alleged tweet Linda Sarsour put out in 2011. I say alleged because in the past it appears that she tried to say that it was not her that posted this, but today instead of saying I didn't write that, she just posted some negative things about Ali. So at this point it doesn't look like she's denying it anymore. But that tweet from March 8th, 2011 read, "Bridget Gabriel equals Ayaan Hirsi Ali. She's asking for an ass whooping. I wish I could take their vaginas away. They don't deserve to be women." Which wasn't a fantastic thing to say about Ali, who is a genital mutilation survivor. And in response to all of this, co-creator of Black Lives Matter, Alicia Garza, tweeted, "I'd love for Jake Tapper to ask more questions and make less assumptions. These tweets about supporting a cop killer are intentionally inflammatory." To which Jake Tapper responded, "How about being part of a gang that kills a New Jersey state trooper? Is that considered inflammatory?" And so in reference to that, let's talk about Assata Shakur. May 2nd, 1973, Shakur and two other members of the Black Liberation Army are pulled over on the New Jersey Turnpike. There was a confrontation, there was gunfire, a state trooper and a BLA member were killed. According to police accounts, from the passenger seat, Shakur fired the first shot, wounding Trooper James Harper in the shoulder. And reportedly, she continued to fire at both troopers until she was wounded. And reportedly, false identification, false license plates, and more weapons were found in the BLA vehicle. Assata, on the other hand, maintained her innocence, saying she did not kill this trooper. But ultimately, she was found guilty of first-degree murder, robbery, and several other charges. She was sentenced to life in prison, but 2 years later, she escaped. This with the help of radical groups called The Collective. They took 2 guards hostage in an armed assault of the prison. They busted her out, got her out of the country, got her to Cuba. And on top of all of that, during this time, she was part of the BLA, an organization that was reportedly responsible for 4 U.S. bombings, 4 hijackings, 32 armed confrontations, 16 of which that involved officers being killed. And so that's why I include myself in the number of people that are confused that the Women's March would honor this person. She's on the FBI's most wanted terrorist list. And even the Women's March defense of this move, for me, falls short. They tweeted, "Assata Shakur is a civil rights leader who used her leadership position to challenge sexism within the Black liberation movement. Assata Shakur's resistance tactics were different from ours. That does not mean that we do not respect her anti-sexism work. Assata Shakur took a militant approach. We do not. That does not mean we don't respect and appreciate her anti-racism work." And I understand they want to separate the violence associated with this person and the organization she was a part of with what she did for anti-sexism. But I don't know if you can effectively do that. Obviously, we'd be talking about different extremes here, but would I be expected to applaud ISIS because they're now allowing female suicide bombers? If the KKK had a female Grand Wizard, would I go, "Oh, well, progress though"? Or would the lynching and the hate speech and the burning crosses, that would take priority over the progress? No, I'm still gonna say fuck the KKK and that female Grand Wizard. And so I share this story with you so you understand where Jake Tapper is coming from with his questioning. And the fact that he questioned this move somehow makes him alt-right. Automatically makes Jake Tapper her enemy. When you villainize people that contest your points, you will eventually find yourself surrounded by enemies that you made. That's where I'm gonna leave that one. And of course, I wanna pass the question off to you. You think Sarsour and the Women's March are in the wrong here, or no, you see where they're coming from? Because this isn't just a show, it is a conversation. I give you the story, I give you my opinion, and then I wanna hear yours. So let me know in those comments down below. From that, I wanna share some stuff I love today, and today in Awesome brought to you by the Let's Make Mistakes Together shirt. A shirt that says life is about finding out who you are by making poor decisions. And right now, I wanna make some poor decisions with you, because let's be honest, every time everyone's like, "Hey, you remember when?" 9 times out of 10, it's about a poor decision, because that's what makes the best memories. So if you wanna grab this shirt while you can, I have a run of them going this week, and I have a link to that down below. And the first bit of awesome is the "oh my god, what the hell kind of season 3 trailer is this trailer for Rick and Morty?" 1, I had to share this because it's just a fantastic, weird, trippy experience, and 2, I'm just so excited the season is coming back in less than 2 weeks. And I just have to say, if you have not tried this show before, I highly recommend it. Then we got a trailer for The Shape of Water. It's from Guillermo del Toro. It involves this weird water creature. It's in this hidden high security government lab laboratory during the Cold War. It looks so intriguing and beautiful. Then I decided to share this British Airways safety video. There's cameos from a bunch of different celebrities, and it would just maybe leave you with a smile. Then CinemaSins put out their much anticipated Everything Wrong with Ghostbusters video, and How It Should Have Ended took on Kong Skull Island. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret links of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. And then I want to talk about a young Saudi woman who has now made international news. Reportedly over the weekend, Khulud, seen here in a crop top and a short skirt, walked through a historic fort. The man that was with her that filmed her uploaded that video to Snapchat, and there was mass outrage. Saudi Arabia has a strict dress code on women. Women must wear a loose black garment called an abaya, essentially like a black cloak, along with a headscarf. And many Saudis saw this video and saw this as a huge disrespectful act. Some threw verbal insults at her, others called for her to be arrested. And in fact, police arrested, detained, and questioned her in the capital because she had, quote, immodest clothes. But there were also some Saudis that said that this is ridiculous. Those pointing to Melania Trump and Ivanka Trump, who didn't wear abayas when they came to Saudi Arabia. There's little public outcry then, but it's also hard to see where Saudi Arabia fully stands here. Reportedly, this woman, after being picked up, detained, and questioned, has now been released. We received a statement from the Center of International Communication saying she was released without charge and the case has been closed by the prosecutor. So the question many people are asking is this situation representative of a bigger change? Was this woman released because there was international outrage that she was arrested in the first place? Or is this situation just a small glimpse at an ever-changing Saudi Arabia? This decision to release Khulud comes as Saudi Arabia is overhauling their prosecution system. The king announced public prosecution powers are moving. More than half of Saudi Arabia's population is under the age of 25, 70% under 30. The country's new heir to the throne is 31 years old and has been pushing for change. Some of the change he's already been credited with has been pulling back the religious police. He's also, and I acknowledge that this is sad that this is progress, he signaled his support for things like lifting the ban on women driving in Saudi Arabia. At this time, women are not allowed to legally drive in Saudi Arabia. So ultimately, this story is this an isolated incident or is this progress? Is this change? Right now, I'm not sure. We have to wait and see, but I do hope that there is change here. I do hope that the new generation taking the power from the old can move forward, can give women, their daughters, their sisters, their mothers, the rights that they should have. I know there's always some response to, I'm promoting Western ideals on other countries. And to that, of course, I respond, it's sad that you talk about different cultures. I'm talking about basic human rights here. Then let's talk about an update around the Trump travel ban. The Supreme Court issued wins and losses to both sides today. The 90-day ban on visitors from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen, as well as the 120-day ban for refugees from anywhere in the world has been granted by the Supreme Court, at least until a federal appeals court weighs in. But the Supreme Court made it so that the newest version of the ban affects even fewer people. The travel ban included an exemption for people that had a, quote, bona fide relationship to someone in the United States. And the people they were aiming to include under bona fide relationship were a parent, spouse, fiance, son, daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, or sibling already in the US, but did not include grandparents, grandchildren, brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and cousins. But now, because of the Supreme Court, all the people on that no list are on the yes list. Also adding exemptions for people with job offers, as well as admission to a college or university. So because of the way this went down, there are people on both sides that are happy and angry. Now, as far as how big of a change this will have in the real world, I don't know. As far as travelers and non-refugees, I imagine we will see an uptick in the amount of people able to come into the country now. But as far as refugees who are currently not able to enter this country, who have already been pre-approved through charity organizations, there's believed to be around 24,000 that their current status is frozen. I don't think this is going to change the situation for 99% of them. But for the actual impact, we'll just have to wait and see. And then I want to talk about Zion Harvey. In 2008, Zion was just 2 and he developed sepsis. Sepsis is a life-threatening infection. It attacks the entire body. It damaged his kidneys. They had to also amputate his hands and his legs below the knee. 2 years later, Zion received a kidney from his mother. And after that transplant, Zion grew healthy and strong. His parents saying he is a happy, outgoing child, saying he adapted well to life without hands, saying that he learned to eat, write, even play video games with his residual limbs. And then something interesting happened in 2012. Zion was 6 at the time. His mom took him to the hospital to see if he could be fit with prosthetic hands. But when he came in, doctors suggested getting a hand transplant. And that was a huge suggestion. It's an extremely rare procedure. It's only being performed by a few surgical teams out there, and none had performed it on a child. So Zion goes under extensive evaluation for 18 months. And oddly enough, one of the things that made Zion a perfect candidate for this was that kidney damage from when he was 2. Because Zion had a donor kidney from his mom, he was already on immunosuppressants. And it's often the fear of damage from immunosuppressants that make doctors say, oh, well, maybe you should have prosthetics rather than surgery. So thanks to some of the previous bad, there was an opportunity for new good. And in 2015, 40 people, including 10 surgeons, performed a double hand transplant on a child with a surgery that took 10.5 hours. And not only was the initial surgery a success, Zion Zion hit all the milestones they were aiming for. In the first year, he was able to use his new hands to pick up objects, manipulate them, things like scissors, even through the opening pitch at an Orioles game. The Children's Hospital of Philadelphia put out a video, and you can just see all of the ways he got parts of his life back. And 2 years after the surgery, Zion has continued to get better. The reason we're talking about this story today is 29 doctors and researchers published a paper on this case. They explain the surgery, the recovery, the success, saying that because of this case, this kind of transplant is here to stay. And for that case report to be released, one of the doctors said, Zion was actually able to write out his name for me to provide photo release consent. And I'm talking about this story today for a few reasons. One, it makes me feel good. It makes me want to cry happy, ugly tears. We need to talk about and acknowledge the wins in the world, especially because we live in a world that is unforgiving and horrible often. Also, to marvel at the advancements of modern medicine. And finally, I just wanted to talk about a story that involved this incredibly strong boy. To talk about a mother that loved her son so much she gave part of herself to him. That may seem like second nature that you do that for your blood, but I feel like every day I turn on the internet, I see someone left their kid in a car and they died. Or insert any other horrible thing of lesser parents. And through these hard times, thanks to them having each other, thanks to them having the silver lining of things from the horrible shit that happened to them, thanks to doctors, or rather just human beings caring about another person, we get a win. Sometimes we just need that. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I try and do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you missed yesterday's Philip DeFranco show, you want to catch up, click or tap right there to watch that. Or if you want to watch today's brand new behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.